the Amina Jimoh Foundation. Today with me, we have a very special guest speaker, and her name is Zainab Abubakar. She is the AJF coordinator for Kaduna State. And I would like Zainab to introduce herself, please. Can you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, good evening. My name is Mallama Zainab Abubakar. I am a lecturer at Kaduna Polytechnic, also the station manager of the campus FM radio Spider FM. Glad to be here, Hajia.
Glad to have you here today. We would like to know, why would a woman lose interest in sex? A lot of people have been asking questions about that. So, can you tell us some reasons why women would, or some women, lose interest in sex?
Actually, there are many factors that could make a woman lose interest in sex. We have physical health issues. When we talk about physical health issues, we can mental health issues as well, like stress, anxiety, depression, trauma, and all that. Mental health issues are re- most times are one of those are the reasons why women lose interest in sex. When a woman is stressed out, then the last thing on her mind will be sex. Take for instance household chores, taking care of the kids, nobody to help, she does not have a maid and all that. At the end of the day, she's all stressed out. The next thing on her mind is let me crash out and sleep, and then the man comes in and he wants his rights, marital rights, bedroom rights. And the last thing on her mind at that point in time will be sex. So if we don't address this issue, then women lose sex when they are stressed out. And we talked about depression. When a woman is depressed, the mental health issue actually. Depression will make a woman lose interest in sex. There are so many things that could lead to depression. It could be maybe financial, it could be emotional. The husband might be maybe chasing around other women, so she's stressed mentally and she has anxiety and all that. So such women will lose interest in sex. And the solution to that is to see maybe a psychiatrist or somebody that can talk to her and things like that.
When
And
we
we
say stress, also, I would like to add to that. Stress could be only her doing the household chore, caring for the children if they have children, and at
yes,
the same time caring for herself. So
herself,
that could be very overwhelming.
which could be very, very overwhelming.
Yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we have life changes like menopause. I would stress on the menopausal part. You know, when a woman is approaching menopause, we have changes in her body. We have that excessive night sweating, internal heat, and all that, especially at night. And at this part of the night that men really want to come and have their rights, want to do the bedroom stuff.
I
And
think if I can jump in to that, I'm not here supporting men for that, but I want to be fair because sometimes I think some of the men, and I said some, not all, are not aware of this because they're not sure how the symptoms are when people go through menopause. So they're like, what is wrong with this one? Is she having a mood swing or what's going on? So sometimes,
the earlier the men are educated on this
yeah,
time, the better for we women, the better for the marital relationship. Because as a woman, because so many things come into play, she starts feeling um in fact she's even the self-esteem reduces. She feels she's less of a woman, and she needs somebody to tell her that no, it's just a change that you're going through. You see, at night you have that sweatiness, you sweat, there's internal heat and all that, but she can see her gynecologist who can maybe there could be medication that he could prescribe for her. And then there's this other aspect of menopausal sign is that dryness. Women become dry down there. You get very dry and penetration becomes painful. So if you don't address that, she will lose interest in sex because each time he's coming, she's thinking of the pain she's going to pass through. But if we address it, maybe with natural herbs, or she sees her gynecologist who would recommend something for her to use to ease that aspect. So menopause is part of the reason why women lose interest in sex. Then when we talk about culture, Hajia, culturally, we have issues like in the northern part of Nigeria here, we believe that a girl should be coy, that you shouldn't be too outspoken. Shyness is part of what we think that if you
So
are shy,
basically, don't be
yeah,
out there talking about sex, sort of.
yes, talk
Like the
sex.
culture does not permit it.
Sometimes talking about sex is even a taboo. But the
Okay.
problem is when these girls are getting ready for marriage, the mothers fail in that aspect of now educating this girl child that now you're getting married, sex is part of marriage. Let her know the intricacies of the bedroom stuff. But sometimes we fail to do this, and these girls go into the marriage with that notion that I have to be quiet, I can't come out. If I show that I'm enjoying this thing, it will seem as if I'm spoiled, I'm not well brought up by beer and all that. So these
If
are
I
part of
can jump in, when we say culturally, so are we saying that in the schools also they're not educating them about it?
even in school we have that mentality when it comes to sex education, especially here in Nigeria. We think you want to corrupt the children when you teach them about these things.
Like you're
So
exposing them to things you shouldn't be exposing them to, right?
not expose them to it. Just tell them about their period and all that intimacy aspects. We start having issues. So
Okay.
teachers definitely avoid that aspect, that part. They would rather just teach them, okay, know about your body, how your body changes. They're going to, but any other thing, mm-mm. Parents can even come to PTA and fight that they're
About
exposing
it.
what they're not supposed to.
But what makes you think parents go in there to fight on things like that, issues like this?
Because they feel that culturally it is wrong for you to teach a child about sex.
When we say culturally, does the religion also play a part in this?
The religion and culture comes into play here.
Okay.
Firstly, we feel that no is a no thing. You don't see, you don't even go there. Even telling the child about changes, the body changes, feel some cultures and religion will feel that it's not even necessary. We're trying to expose our children to what they are not supposed to know,
So it's like the girl child with
especially
the
the,
culture you're explaining, it's like it's sent into marriage without
all
being
these
ready.
going into marriage with this notion, and then she's coy, she's withdrawn, she knows nothing, she's not relaxed, and all that. And maybe her first experience, her first night in marriage, and it didn't go down well, she could never ever have interest in sex. That's
Okay.
the
All right.
how we that is the cultural aspect. Body image concerns, Hajia. When a woman starts giving birth, our body changes. The breast becomes flappy. We lose shape. The stomach becomes bulgy. It doesn't go back. You lose shape. You get fat. Some of us were slim before getting married. After one or two issues, we become fat. Stretch marks here and there. That self-esteem comes in. She's no longer confident about herself, both
So
in
like
and
she starts feeling insecure about her body.
And then the men, some of these men do not help matters, Hajia. He might jokingly say it, look at your breast, it's not standing again. Oh. See
Make it
stretch mark.
stand then. You can tell him to make it stand. He
Yo,
can bring it up.
now, it affects us. Mentally, she has that, paints that picture in her mind. And then when she comes to the bedroom, it's just like she's not herself. She's just there
If I
and
can come in with what you said about what men what some men would say, like your breast is not standing anymore. If I
Actually,
were to be her,
there are some
she
people
could
that
just tell him he can make it stand back.
I,
You
there are
know,
people that I
so you
don't
don't
think
make somebody make you feel less of yourself. Is what I'm trying to say, right? By the time you start making people condescend on you, then you're done.
they don't.
That's it. So sometimes what I'm trying to say is we do not give people the weapon to make you feel that, oh, you're less of yourself.
Yes.
Because by the time you do that, then they continue doing it. Then it becomes a habit.
Because
Because then they're like seeing your insecurity.
yes, then we need a platform where women can talk to themselves and make them feel confident about themselves. Giving birth, bringing a child to life is something. It's something to be proud of, not to be ashamed of.
I believe we need a platform
Yes,
to engage men and women, not just the women. Because now we just talked about the cultural dysfunction. So
yes,
if we're not adding these men into what we're talking about, it's like we cannot ask them to be doing
yes.
things like rocket science.
They still not aware. Like and the issue of um I said depression and others or marital issues. Marital issues. There's an example I want to give. It's somebody I know. She's close to me. She had issues with her husband. They had a quarrel. He said so many things. She said the things he said to her. It's been over 5 years when she was narrating this to me. She said it's been 5 years. She that's love, that's closeness. She's just in that marriage. Nothing, no emotional attachment to her husband. For what? For one single quarrel
Because
they
of
had.
the trauma.
He slapped her, and then the things he said to her. She said she painted that mental it's in her brain. She keep picturing. So whenever it's time for them to be intimate, she thinks she goes back. This is something that happened 5 years. She said it keeps reoccurring. It keeps coming back. So she doesn't have and that she doesn't deny him, but she's just there. He lets him do his thing and get up. That he
So
keeps
it's like, okay, just do your thing, and I'm here.
that she's not as she used to. She said she can never be, and they never discussed it. And she refused. I said, why not discuss it with him? She said, no, she's just there. The marriage, let it be there. We are there. Marriage of convenience as far as she's concerned. She's just there. She will not deny his right. She will not go into extramarital affairs, but she's just there. But that she can never love him again. Because and why this could have been solved maybe after the quarrel. The husband calls her, let's discuss this issue we had. I'm sorry I hit you. I'm sorry I said this thing. But they never discussed it. They just swept it under the carpet and it's becoming a problem. And the woman has lost interest in sex.
So the issues like this is where communication has to come in. So if they're
Coming
not able to communicate, maybe he does not, maybe he's not open, he's not the type that would allow communication.
exactly.
So she has to find a way because whether we like it or not, it's already damaging her and it's like going on.
Affecting the marriage.
It's already affected the marriage. But it's like it's a complete cycle. Like it's
This is where
messing
marriage
with her mental health. So she needs to find an avenue to
this is
either
where
talk to a therapist.
comes in Hajjat. Couples do not go for marriage counseling before they get married. To teach them about importance of communication in marriage. So it's a
Yes,
big
I believe you're right.
yes,
Culturally too, a
yes,
woman is prepared for marriage. I believe parents need to come in and educate both the male child and
they,
the female child so that way everyone can come together as a team to build a family. Because a lot of times you see people will tell a woman to pray for marriage or woman to, put more interest into the sexual things that we're talking about. And for the man, it's just like, okay, just like you said, um, okay, open it and let me just get in and I'm out. So with things like that, it cannot work.
for this
When we
time.
find with this woman now, there has to be a lot of conversation because you said it's been 5 years, 5 solid years.
5 years.
That's
It's
really unhealthy.
a very,
So,
very, very, very
so you
unhealthy.
need to talk to her to find a way to talk to him because I believe sometimes people go out there without talking to their own spouse and they're kind of comfortable telling their friends, or if you have someone who does not listen, I get it. Sometimes you have to speak out. But
That's
what I'm trying to advise is sometimes maybe he does not even know this is going on. Yes, whatever he has said, I'm not saying that we should enable that, but he needs to like know that this is
it.
what he said or what his action has done. It's caused damage to this woman. So he has a lot to do. He has to go back to the love language where how they started from the beginning, if they ever had a love language. Because like you stated,
Oh, we do not.
culturally, they might not be love language. Maybe I don't know how they met or how they got married. Because sometimes it's just like connection, like we know.
Okay, Aja, there's another aspect of personal hygiene. You see, some I'm not sorry to say, their hygiene is zero. You have bad breath, body odor, and then you just come to the woman like that. You've not had your bath. Even the prophet, in Islam, the prophet said a husband should groom himself for his wife, smell nice for her, look nice for her. But some of these men, sorry to say, no proper hygiene, smelling bad. You come and this thing turns some women off. I, for one, it will turn me off when you have bad breath and you come with this shower before you go to meet your wife. That way she'll be ready for you and all that. But some men do not
So
have
basically, the way they expect women to look good, they should also prepare themselves. We
yes.
also want to see men looking wonderful, smelling
But
good, and saying, "This is what I love. This is
you
lovely."
just call me like that. How about man?
Tawakal Kadri said, "Good evening, boss. Good evening, Tawakal too." Um,
And
yes. So men need to groom themselves to know that women also have that expectation. It's not just a man's world where a woman needs to look good. You as a man need to look good too.
not nice for me as well. Um, then another aspect is past experiences, Hajia. There had their first their first experience turned out really, really bad. And that gave them that mental image of this is what sex is all about. It is not for me.
When we
Even
say first experience, are we
yes,
talking about with their spouse?
that's how it affects the present her present sexual experience.
Okay.
Who has had a bad sexual experience previously and probably married now to another man. The bad experience she had, her first bad experience, had left her
Traumatized.
damage, I'll say. They view it, it is nothing, there's nothing good about it. Probably the first attempt, or it could even be the present husband, her first, and he didn't do a good job. The
So when
husband
you say a good job,
did
as a
ask
woman, what is a good job?
to it, he didn't introduce her to it in a good way, no foreplay, he didn't get her mind prepared for what to
When we
expect,
say foreplay, like what kind?
no foreplay, nothing, just going like that, and before you know it, she has
So
that
you're
bad
saying just going like that. We have adult viewers because we do not put for kids, so we can freely talk about it.
experience.
So when you say foreplay, some of the viewers don't know what that means. So is it kissing someone? Is it
Touching, romancing, I don't know, kissing, touching, romancing. and stuff like that, touching her, knowing her G spots and things like that. These are
So
the things that
basically communicating with her
help
also, right?
get her prepared, especially if it's her first time. You can talk about it before. Get her prepared. Go out for a romantic dinner. Do things. Don't just, some men will just come in just like that, she and get himself satisfied. He's not concerned about the woman's satisfaction. And maybe that's her first experience. She now think, is this what it's all about? Is this
So I
what it
think
is?
that's where communication comes in
Communication.
communication to go by, hey, how has their day been? To start with that, to see
I'll
what
probably,
kind of mood that person is in.
if you're not together, maybe you both away at work, send romantic messages. I can't wait to till your field tonight. Are you ready for me? You, the wife, too, you will send. Don't worry, the field is cleared. I've cleared the field. That is shaped. You are waiting. All these things will spice it up. If by the time you are together, the chemistry is every packing. But just
Like
like
it's
that,
already warming up, huh?
nothing. You just come in, kawai, budakapa. It's just
Budekafa, menene budekafa, shesele, oma kongo yoba.
like
Shesele, budekafa, meaning open your legs. That's what she said in Hausa, and I said it in Yoruba. My Igbo viewers and other viewers from all parts of the world, we're still learning. It's a multicultural place. You are here at Amina Jimoh Show. So, budekafa can be really irritating sometimes. And when
very,
I say budekafa, it's like open your legs.
yeah,
It's like dealing with a mechanic or what. You don't
actually.
deal with such, be it a woman. It's just like when men complain that a woman just lies down like this and expects them to do the work. So I think it's both ways here. Because, like you said, what makes some people lose interest is like, okay, same old, usual. You don't care about me. You only care about yourself. So do whatever you want to do and get out. So it's like that's the mentality that Mallama Zainab is explaining. That some women already look at it as a chore. So okay, it is what it is. It's not something exciting. So that's where they have to find out what their interest is. Sometimes you find out that people try to impose what they like on their partner. You have to communicate to find out
What's
if they
your
are willing to try what you want them to try.
you know? Tell her what your fantasy is. Ask her what her fantasies are. It's a
Exactly.
thing. There's nothing wrong. It's legal. You're doing it especially when you're married.
Exactly. You're married.
So know each other's fantasies. Ask her, where do I touch you? That where is your spot? Where do I touch? What's that part of you that you thought that gets you?
And when you're asking her too, if you pay attention, if she's really a woman and you're not busy parading on every woman, you would know your woman. Because if
Yes.
you pay attention, you would definitely know
So where you are
things.
touching, right? Yes. But some men don't care. They just want to satisfy their own urges and just go. And such things make women lose interest in sex. Okay, do and get off. Let me do my thing as well. So it's very, very important. Let's get to know each other and things like that. Then we're talking about part on top of um marital issues. We talk about finance. When there's financial problem, when there's financial issue, a woman loses interest in sex. I'm not saying that she likes money, but if a woman cannot,
So when you say financial issues,
well, we're
is it
talking
the
of,
woman paying the bills or
no,
educators?
maybe they pay the bills together, the man has issues, or the family is financially constrained, and they're thinking of where the next meal is coming. The children are home from school, they've been sent home from school for lack of school fees. I've had friends who would discuss things like this with my kids are out of school because of school fees. I don't even know where the next meal is coming from, and this man, the next thing he wants to have sex. Sex is the last thing on my mind. I'm not interested until these things are settled.
So that's where the stress comes in, Abby.
Meanwhile, the men, some men, when they have such issues, it's sex that relieves them. That's the opposite. But some women, when such issues are on ground, the last thing on our mind is sex. My children, I don't know what they're eating tomorrow. You want to come and climb me for what?
What are they climbing? Are you a bed? They want to climb. Of course, they want to climb. You're supposed to be climbed. You're married. So you don't have to be climbed. If you don't want to be climbed, he can
Now,
decide to maybe do it the sideways or another way. It does not have to be a climbing to know. Maybe you can be the one to climb if you don't want him to be if you don't want to climb him. I'll be him to climb you. There are
idea.
different styles. So maybe you can do the like we wrote the frog pose. Okay. And you can take it from there with your climbing. So
Yes,
the lack of sexual fulfillment can also bring wahala. Wahala means trouble to the family.
that's where I said communication. Ask her, make the foreplay, the touching, the play before, kissing, and all that.
The play before, I see you doing the play before. Go there
Yes,
and talk about it. They want to hear the play before. What is the play before? Is it, we talked about it. You said the kissing,
I don't
the
know.
romance, the, okay.
Um, when we talk about foreplay, we talk about kissing, sucking, sucking of the breast.
Okay.
Sometimes oral. Some people, if you are down to it, you can go oral. You can go for oral sex.
Are
Some
you
people
saying for both?
for both. If it's
Okay.
okay, both of you. If it's okay by the man, if it's okay by the woman, there's nothing wrong in it. As long as it's okay by you. If the man is okay going oral, doing this thing with you, fine. And if you are okay to giving your husband a blow job, fine.
So
If
that's
that is
where you talked about cleanliness, right? Where you
yes,
said, that's where you talk about being clean, you
yes,
know? Because
that
sometimes some people
some
will say
people
somebody
smell
smelling like fish and you want them to go down where. So things like that, people need to take care, both sex need to take care of their hygiene.
clean, we need to be very clean. If you know your husband is the type that licks your plates, clean that place very well for the
Waiting
time.
be plate.
And at the end now,
What is plate?
if your husband is the type that likes sucking you down there, we call it licking of plates. So if you like
Okay.
licking,
My
make
Americans call it
sure
the pussy, right? So I say it. All right. Okay.
for him.
Okay.
So that place
Right.
needs to be not smelly. Your personal hygiene should be top notch. So that yes, when he goes there, fine. If that is what turns you on, prepares you for sex, then you have to. And he's ready to do it for you, then you play your part as well.
Okay.
Then we talk
So,
about traumatic experience like rape. A woman who has been raped might completely lose interest in sex. This one needs professional. After a woman has been raped, she needs to be counseled. She needs to see a counselor, she needs to see a psychiatrist, somebody to talk to her. After that, whoever her partner is should be ready to do a lot to know that yes, this lady has passed through is an experience that it's not something good, it's not something any woman should go through. So once a woman passes through that, the partner has a lot to do because her interest in sex will become something else. She will not, in fact, thinking about it might trigger the experience she had with the rapist. So
so
that's
that's
another,
where communication comes in for
yes,
that partner to be aware of what she
her
has gone through
past trauma,
and
trauma she has
not
passed.
use that against her because in some cultures too, you might end up saying it, and then he comes at her that, oh, didn't you enjoy it? So,
Stigmatized. The woman was raped and yet you're stigmatizing her. Was it her fault?
yes.
It was not her fault.
So it's not her fault.
Okay.
So that is where the partner has to be really kind and, would I say, aware of this. I think these are
And
the kind of things that one needs to be open about. I believe in openness, and I believe, but I see the world as sometimes people get hot when they are open, because it's like, yeah, she can end up telling him her past, the trauma, and then he can use that against her too, depending on who he is. And she can end up with another person who would adore her for life and who would help her heal.
of
So,
her and make her forget about the past trauma. There are good men out there.
absolutely.
Yes, who will do that for her. Who is Amina?
So, when people have anxiety, when people have depression, I know you touched on that. We said those are factors that make them feel like I don't want it. When you talk about depression, sometimes people who take antidepressants too, medications, those can also contribute to why they're
Yes,
not having the zeal to, do anything.
urge for sex.
And also bed controls. Some bed controls will make you not want to have it. So
Yes.
these are where you need to speak to your OBGYN, your doctor. I'm putting out a disclaimer here. We're not your doctors. We're not your therapists. We're just here to give back to the
Yes.
society. So always check with your doctor. Always check with your OBGYN, whatever information you get from anywhere in order to
Also,
proceed.
after birth, sometimes after giving birth, you just lose interest. It happened to me. I stayed for when I had my last child. It took me time, it took me months before I could want to. But when I went back in, it was okay. But the man need to be understanding. Men need to be understanding that some women, after giving birth, have that issue. They lose interest in sex, the baby stress, the, the after baby stress, and all that. It's the stress alone can make you lose interest completely in sex. So the men should be understanding when a woman does give birth. It will take some immediately they can start, but some women take months, like 2, 3 months before they can now want to have sex.
Since you shared your past experience, and thank you for using your experience to educate the public, could you kindly, maybe if you would like to share, you don't have to, educate them on maybe ways that what you did that got you back into wanting it?
Actually, when I had my last child, in fact, I will not say it was a mistake. It was failed contraceptive because I was like, I'm done with babies. But unfortunately, sometimes it fails.
Yes.
So with all the I'm not ready for a baby, this baby is here, all added to me having that issue of I'm not interested in having sex and all that. But my husband was understanding and
So the
I
tender loving and caring you got from him helped
that
you.
I didn't leave him. I had other ways. We had our ways of satisfying him. Me, I'm not interested. He we are women. You know how you can satisfy your man. You can give him blow job. You can do any other thing to satisfy him. But personally, I was not ready. And he followed me gradually. I spoke with friends and they gave advices. I had advice from friends who had had similar experience. They told me things to take, natural things to take. Take dates, make watermelon, all these things, natural things that will boost your libido, naturally. So I
Okay.
started that. Before you know it, I became relaxed with my husband understanding as well. Because he was understanding, I started feeling like, and let me try now and help see this man out of this thing. You understand? Before
Yes.
you know, we're, we're out, I was out of it and we're back to our thing.
Okay, I know you talked about blowjob. So there are other things. Yeah, you don't want to go down. You don't want to have him use the vaginal. You can. Some people can maybe use their boobs to do that. Hold onto it and have him go in there. And there are other ways, right? Like you made sure that you're not just leaving him that way. You did other things to satisfy him. So at least that's something good. But if you do not want to and you do not feel mentally okay, do not do it. You just have to communicate it to your partner. Don't feel forced that, okay, I have to do it. You have to care about your mental health. You have to care about your emotions and everything.
Because if a woman is not mentally ready for sex, she's not ready. It's got to a point, Haja, because I was already could not penetrate. I don't know. I don't know if it have other people have had similar experiences. Even if he tries, he can't penetrate because I just closed up. I don't know how it happened. I don't know whether I don't know if medically it's possible, but it happened to me.
Wow.
Happened to me. Using myself as a life experience. I didn't want it. He could not. He could
Wow.
not.
So in that respect, did you, if you want to share, did you have to speak to your OBGYN or you just had to go through the natural ways?
That's just the natural ways because we here we believe in this herbal natural thing. I don't, you know, I my friends were like, don't, there's nothing, it's nothing, it's just all in your head. It's all in your head. It's because you're not ready for a baby and you have a baby and you're just relax. Take
Mm.
your time. Take natural things that will boost your libido and before you know it, you'll be the place will be lubricated. Take this. Before you know it, actually works.
I think each situation is unique and everyone have what
Yeah.
works for them and what
Some
does not work for them.
people, their doctors to recommend something for them, prescribe something for them. For me, I went natural.
All right. So touching back on you talking about men getting involved in the like the home going thing, like culturally, some people feel it's only a woman's job to cook, clean, and care for children. And in today's world, sometimes a woman is even the breadwinner of the family, and maybe the man is just home and she has to still come back,
See some
cook.
they don't have a job. This woman that will go out, do everything. What stops you from preparing baby before she comes back? Just prepare something for her to eat so that she's the one going out to fend for the house. You don't expect her to go after to come back and the African mentality thing, a man is not supposed to cook, a man is not supposed to be in the kitchen. But if we really want to follow, a woman is not supposed to go out and fend. He is to go out and fend. So doing it, the role has reversed now. Oga,
The role has reversed
Oga,
psychology, we call it.
stop.
It's like some people will say, well, èmi ni mo ní adé gún, èmi ni mo ní adé ògún mọ́. So what I just stated was, I'm the one who said, this is how we're going to roll. And I'm the one who is saying that, well, we're not rolling that way anymore. This is what fits me, and this is what we have to go by.
Reality sound. Uh,
So, in going into that, men, gentlemen, kings, you need to get involved. You
involved.
want your women, or your woman, I would say, to be active. You need to know that. when she is fully relaxed, you would be the one to be tired of her needing you.
I
Because if
believe.
you join hands to do things together, it even makes you guys bond more.
Is that bond?
And while you're even doing that in the kitchen, they did not write it there that you cannot do it in the kitchen, in as long as the children are not there. You
No,
know,
man.
it does not have a specific location. So
And
sometimes when she feels appreciation, when he also feels appreciated, things can happen. I know we're talking about why would a woman lose interest, but it's about the two people. So the two people have to make sure they connect. It's not about one person, like you said,
one
just
person.
open your legs. No, it's about two of you. So both
Yeah.
of you have to take time to find ways to make it romantic, to make it lovely, to make it sexy, whatever you have. Every day is a daily routine. You have to spice it up and not make it like something
Okay.
which is a prescription where he already knows, okay, this is what I'm expecting and that's it. Or this where she already knows this is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Be romantic, be adventurous. I'm not saying try anything crazy, but at least explore.
Explore. That's the word.
Mm.
And that's aspect of helping. In fact, mother, it's high time we started give a different orientation for our boys, our boy child. Because I was cooking in the kitchen one day. My son came in. He was, I think by then he was about 11. He came and said, "Mommy," and I got my wife to be cooking for me like that. And I said, "No, sometimes cook for your wife. You know that sometimes your wife will be tired, could be tired. In fact, sometimes take her out. Let's go and eat out. Tell her not to cook. Then sometimes try and surprise her. Cook for her. You see how you know, say, okay, mommy, I'll do that. You see, I've started giving my son that orientation that it's not a woman's thing only to be the one cooking in the kitchen. I've started giving him that orientation. Sometimes you cook for your wife. Sometimes tell her not to cook. Let her relax. Take her out. Go and eat out. You know, he wanted to start having that mentality since mommy is in the kitchen, his wife too be in the kitchen and all that. We need to start things with us right now. The children were this present generation. Let them start having give let's start giving them a reorientation.
I think that's where we need both parents. And when I say both parents, the father and the mother. Because in some cultures, they'll say the woman, the woman, the woman. It's not just the woman that has the child. So both people came together to have them. So I believe how people prepare women or the girl child for marriage should be what we should sit down and start thinking about teaching boys too.
Yes.
When women want to get married, they will tell them some cultures, whether you like it or not, teach their girl child how to do all these things. In some cultures, it's a taboo. In some cultures, it's not a taboo. I know of. I'm not going to make mention of names of the countries, but in some part of Africa, you technically would have to like go do the experiment before. I'm not preaching that here. But I'm trying to say, just as the other cultures state, it's a taboo. So we need to start learning that the conversation needs to come in.
Yes.
You're not trying to tell the kids to do it. However, you have to start educating them so that they cannot even go out there and be vulnerable and end up having someone who is not even supposed to touch them touch them. So that's where the vital part of sexual education comes in for both children.
This orientation, this teaching these children things. There's a girl I know that got married. She was so naive. She's married a virgin. She's a child. She's 19 when she got married. Um, Unfortunately, the guy gay.
Unfortunately, the guy did what?
He was gay. The
Oh
girl
dear.
wanted, he was always trying to have anal sex with her. So she was not discussing with her cousin that is it right? This is something she's not aware. She doesn't know which one is right, which one is wrong. She was like asking her cousin, is it right that he's trying to, he's always, he prefers, you know, these are things we need to educate our
So
children
he's
on.
trying to go anal with her.
How have anal sex with the wife, with the
Okay.
girl. This is a 19-year-old girl that got married. She's not wising up. I think the mother did not educate. That's where the education comes in. Because when he started having issues was when he was sick on admission. Some people, strange people came, the parent asked him what kind of thing. Then the cousin now said, she has been complaining that he does this, that definitely this is what he is. Do you understand? The girl was naive, nothing, she didn't know anything. The father had to take her, let them go and test her for sexually transmitted disease and all that, this stuff like that. So we need to talk to our children, don't just get them married, or yes, I want her to get married, let her go, I don't want her to get. What if she's entering something that's harmful to her?
So I believe, if I can add to that, whatever styles they're doing, I think, I'm not sure if parents will go in depth in telling a child maybe this is the right style or this is the wrong style. I think that's where communication comes in, where we talked about what do you feel comfortable with. For someone, the going down is like a no no. For someone, it's like a yes yes. For someone, the anal is like a yes yes, and for someone, it's like a no no. So
I know how
that is
normal
where you have that conversation with your
I
spouse.
I know normal couples who do anal, they do both. She said her husband likes it, so she gives it to him. Fine, he's okay by it. But some people are not okay by it. Some people,
I believe with,
and
go ahead.
religiously, it is a sin for those who, you understand.
That's it.
But we have
Medically too, it has
it's
complications.
a sin, so it is a no-no for religion.
You have to also care about your body and yourself, because medically too, it could affect you. I'm not here to advocate whatever you want to do with your life. I'm just saying that medically, yes, it's like a no-no, because we hear that some people start wearing diapers from doing things like that.
Or
Again, I'm not here to tell you what you can do with yourself. I'm just
those
here to
those
advise you.
anal and the normal, don't just come out from the anal side with all the feces and then come into the vagina. There is such rubbish there.
Mm.
You understand? That is the
Yeah,
hygiene we're talking about.
that's gonna get you sick. That's where the medical comes in.
But
That's
that's
gonna
where the,
get you sick. You don't want to do that.
yes,
I don't think 2 minutes of whatever they experience there would make it fun to want to be in the hospital to be experiencing other things.
those things. Exactly. So that is we need to really, really educate our kids and all that before they go into marriage, especially those who are
So
because they are
basically, now for parents to educate the female child and the boy child to know that okay, this is what it is. We're not saying start telling them this is how you climb or this is not how you would, push, or this is dog style, this is what style. But at least give them the education to know that by their age, you know where to start talking to them. Because I believe you can get books and it will tell you what age, and if you even go to the doctors with the children,
appropriate sex education, age appropriate sex education. We have that.
yes. So those are the things to do. But as we are here preaching to youth, because I know a lot of men were here to find out ways that they can make their wife, want it more, and why would they lose interest? So the number one reason is you need to help her. And by saying help her, she's not your mate, she's not your slave. You both came in together to love each other.
You're
So
not
when you
age. If you can't help her physically because of your job or the nature of your job, get her a maid.
well,
Somebody
in some part of the world, they don't have options to get mates.
you help.
So yeah, you don't have an option to get a mate. So maybe you can
My
call cleaning
baby,
services or cook. You can maybe hire a chef, but
my undergraduate years, in my
I think the network is playing out.
uh,
Okay, you're back.
uh, my undergraduate years, um, we had a classmate. She was married with a baby. I think she had other kids. She comes looking stressed. She's always looking stressed. I remember my lecturer back then, Professor Bala, now called her and said, "What is your problem? Why are you always looking stressed? What is it?" She now said her husband is stressing her. She will cook. She will do this. She will come to school. Then the Professor Bala told her, he said, "I'm going to tell you one thing. When you get home, don't cook, don't do this, all the things you do. Do you know why? If he asks you, tell him that the prophet said the only job a woman is allowed to do is to no, to give birth to a baby. Even the breastfeeding, you have to get a wet nurse to breastfeed your baby, unless she wants to. In the hadith, in the Quran, if you follow the hadith of the prophet, a woman's only job is to give birth to your baby. And
So we have
if she's
other
not
viewers who are not Muslims.
we get a wet nurse to breastfeed the baby. And now with our African mentality, we want to kill women with work. You have to get her a cook, somebody to wash for her, somebody to do everything. Her only job is to have that baby for you, satisfy you at night and do every other thing, but you don't stress her. So it's they tell your husband to come and see him. You say, "I am the one, Professor Bala, I'm saying this. Is he not a Muslim? Tell him to come. Why is he stressing you?" You know, that was when I even learned all this thing. He was not telling us in class that you women don't know your rights as Muslim women.
It was a good experience you shared. But we have other viewers watching from all over the world. So it's a diverse community we have here.
Yes.
My thing is, everyone should come in and work as a family.
But for
Whatever works for family A might not work for family B, but you do not, I don't preach that watch what A is doing to do that. No, you have to sit down
work
and
for the
figure out what works for you.
but yes, do what works for you.
We have cultural expectation, we have religious expectation. However, we also have to sit down and have the fear of God, like, okay, how am I treating this person? Both genders is who I'm speaking to right now. Because sometimes the level of how you're speaking to them could be the factor why they're not even having that attention to give to you. Because, like you said, if somebody's already stressed, somebody's already going through depression without you knowing, how the hell would they even want to open up to tell you that they want you to do anything with them?
Oh,
They wouldn't want to even have anything to do with you because
oh,
at that point, they're already in so much pain. And maybe a lot of trauma that they're going through is already causing them a lot of the anxiety and the depression. So, with things like that, to just make them shut down. So that's where it's really important sometimes to say, help each other, help each other. Just
help.
like we said, the man should come help the wife. Yes, I understand where you're going, that culturally, men are supposed to provide, and yeah, women are supposed to um, have the baby or whatever you said. Yes, In some cultures, it's like that. In some traditions, it's like that. However, let's make it a team where people come together
and
to
each other
ease each other's stress.
health needs.
If anyone has any questions, you can bring it in. And I saw some questions, and somebody said physical health issues. Again, with the physical health issues, you would have to discuss with your doctor. You have to call your medical doctor. If you're having issues with medicals, kindly reach out to your OBGYN. Those will be the best people to give you the best advice. Because, like I said earlier on, we're not your doctors here. And Isa Mutula said, kudos to you all. Thank you, Mutu. And Chase Edit said, hi, hello. So, somebody stated emotional disconnection can cause that. What would you do in the aspect of your husband not listening to you? How do you deal with a man like that? So, again, unfortunately, you still have to communicate. If you cannot communicate with him verbally, I believe there are ways, other ways. Fine, if you know his love language, you guys have been together for some time. I would say do whatever the love language is. I'm not saying you should tolerate abuse or tolerate anything because him not listening or him being shutting down, it's kind of like a narcissistic thing to do. It's
And
narcissists that do that.
sometimes you need to get a third party if he's not listening to
But before putting in the third party is what I'm trying to say, like trying to avoid third party. I understand the situation of people bringing in third party, but how about trying to work it out first? Because sometimes when you bring in third parties too, it might make it worse. I think your network is hanging. Okay, I'm not sure if we lost her, Mallama Zainab. Tawa said, well done, Mallama. I really enjoyed the show. Okay, I think the show is on, but Mallama is hanging right now with the network, probably with the network issues. So let's see if we can get her back on. Okay, so we lost her. Probably she will try to log in again, or if she does not, I'll try to wrap it up because we've been here for a while. If you do have questions, send it in. Somebody said lack of sexual fulfillment by the man could make him go out there. Yes, lack of sexual fulfillment can make men go out there, but how about you also making sure that home is okay? And if home is okay, if you're communicating with your partner, you can find out what it is that is making her not want to be in the mood. It could be medical, like we already explained to you. And it could be that it has to do with also um, maybe things that have happened in the past, like Zainab explained, in the family. So you have to try to figure out what is going on that is causing this lack of satisfaction. If she's not willing to um, let you have your way at that point, you have to try to communicate with her to find out what's going on. Where a man is shaming you, it makes you insecure, and that's it. You can get dismissed and wouldn't want to be having sex with him anymore. Yes, things like that happens, and that's where you need to also, unfortunately, communicate. At the end of the day, you still need to make sure you're communicating. You have to tell him how he made you feel, and by me saying that you have to tell him how he made you feel, be truthful. Do not feel, okay, I don't want him to know I'm upset. You don't have to get all, I'm upset, but you have to sit down and talk like adults. Maybe at that moment, you don't even have to talk about things like that. Some people find it okay to talk about things right there, so they can nip it in the bud. And some people find other avenues to talk about it at the appropriate time, if that time is not appropriate. So with things like that, you need to still communicate about it for them to know that this is a no-go area and I do not want you addressing me as such anymore. Because trust me, if you do not talk about it, sometimes it will keep going on and you don't want that to happen. It says Mallama Zainab talked about cultural and religious factors. However, some women and men have already had sex with other people before you, but they pretend not to want it. So that's where you really have to be yourself again. I don't see a reason why you're married to someone and you're pretending. What else are you pretending about? You have to be yourself. Tell them this is what you want. And if you do not want to talk about it, you can show them. And probably in some instances, the guys sometimes will say, "Oh, where did you learn this from? Where did you learn that from?" Men like that need to stop talking to women like that, because it makes them not want to do other things with you because they feel you're going to judge them. Just as she's trying to state here that they are kind of like, okay, Zainab calling me. Let me just say, okay, she's back actually. Oops. All right. So I'm just gonna add her back. Uh, okay. All right. We have Zainab, Malama Zainab back here. Awesome.
Oh,
Welcome back.
thank you. Sorry, network issues. It just went off.
Yeah, I was telling them that it's the network. Tawa said, Tawa Kaltu Others said, what can you do to a spouse who has low drive for sex and you have tried in so many ways to help? So when you say this, do you mean for the guy or for the female? If you can help us out with that question, they would know the better way to assist you with that.
And the person that sends the message should be a female, right?
Yes, it's a female.
So we should assume she's talking about a male partner.
Okay. All right.
Uh,
So if she's talking about a male partner, and I would say the question again, just so I know what my answer would be and your answer also. She stated, what can you do to a spouse who has low drive for sex and you have tried in so many ways to help? So I believe we talked about medically. You have to check to make sure if it's not medical,
First,
then it could be maybe something that has to do with trauma. So if it has to do with trauma, that's where you have to be more caring. You have to engage him or her. I'm trying to give uh, two answers to everyone now. You have to try to engage both of them. Like if it's a man, find things that he has interest in doing. And believe it or not, sometimes when people get attention, they can naturally start feeling that back again. And they're like, wow, because they're happy. If you're not happy, like Zainab stated, or you're thinking about where the next meal is coming from, this is the last thing you want to think about. So if you're doing great, you will be like, okay, this is what it is. I also want to have it. I hope we've answered your question, but maybe Zainab has anything to put on it.
open my mind. Probably the man is stressed out. Um, Maybe one of the weekends, if you have a place, maybe a friend or family, take the kids away, take them there. Just let it be both of you. Let him be relaxed. If there's something bothering him, if it has to do maybe house rent, school fees, calm him down, talk to him, let him know that it's not the end of the world, that a solution will come and all that. By the time you bring him down, calm him down like that, I guess he will come out of his shell and things will be okay. And if it's probably medical, you can go for natural food that boost male libido. Yeah, you can Google it. You can ask your doctor for natural meals. Boost it if it's health wise. There are things you can give him to boost. I'm not saying you should go for all those hard rubbish they sell on the streets. No, meet your doctor. If you don't want chemical drugs, then you go natural. There are natural meals that can boost his libido. First thing first, make sure he's not stressed out. Make sure nothing is bothering him. Because once a man is stressed out, he's anxious about certain things. Let me tell you, the same thing as opposed to women, some men. While some men, when they have issues like that, it's sex that relieves them. Some men, when they have such issues, sex will be the last thing on their mind. So find out the underlying cause of this and then you can tackle it from there.
And sometimes it could be hunger. Maybe you've not fed him, and
Okay,
you're looking for harder what when I've not eaten, you
or
know.
tequila.
So it could be that the poor guy have not had any meal, and you're there saying round two, round three, you know. So both of you really need to feed each other to make sure that you have energy before you start shouting harder when somebody, is already not feeling okay. Let me see. Okay. So somebody wrote something that had nothing to do with that. He said hi, and he said he's been called by the Lord to spread gospel. Wonderful. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, you can send it in. If you do not have any questions, we would like to wrap it up. And if you've not already subscribed to the Amina Jimoh Show, kindly do subscribe. And do not forget to follow us on Facebook at Amina Jimoh Show and also Amina Jimoh Foundation. And remember, subscription here is free. We have a lot of educative posts that we post daily, sometimes weekly, and sometimes we bring people in to talk to you so that way we can all impact the society. Again, if you do not have any questions, we would like to wrap it up. And remember that this things about sex is two-way traffic. So when dealing with a spouse, it's not about me. Make it about us, and you would have your fulfillment. Somebody said, as a woman, sometimes you do not feel like doing it because at the end of the day, he will still cheat. I think I'm not sure if we lost Mallama Zainab. I think the network is hanging. So with issues like that, when you know somebody cheats, you have to make sure that you protect yourself so that you do not get any STDs. And I think it will be time to sit down and have a conversation about how you want to proceed. Some people might be okay with having a public dick. They call it like the community project, and some people are not okay with it. So it depends on you, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you feel you're not comfortable with that, and that is making you feel not good about yourself, so it's time to talk about it. We lost Zainab, we lost Malama Zainab. So I'll just wrap it up. So with the last question, that will be the last question that will be taken. If you already know that somebody cheats, be it a woman or a man, it's time you sit down and know your own self worth. Cheaters never cheat because you're not doing enough. I repeat, cheaters never cheat because you're not doing enough. You can give them all the positions and they will still cheat. So Madam Zainab is back. Okay. All right. So when the network went off, the last question we're taking, she stated, you can still do everything and they'll still cheat. So I stated that the person cheating, people need to know that a cheater would always be a cheater, and there is no way you can change a cheater. So we're not here. I, for one, would never advise you to remain with a cheater. You need to know your self worth. Again, I'm not advising you on what to do, but I'm trying to educate you here that you need to care about your self esteem. You need to care about your health. You don't know where he's putting his dick here and there. And then at the end of the day, he brings it back to your own pussy and you don't know where he's been. Things like that can be at your own detriment. And you can end up having STDs, sexually transmitted diseases that you do not even have any cure for. So it's time that people sit down and start thinking with their brain or head or whatever you use to think. Because at the end of the day, this can damage you and it will be a lifetime sentence. So some people would say, oh, it rains everywhere. It does not rain everywhere. It's only people who allow it to rain that it might rain. Like I said, you can never change a cheater, but the notion you have to have is you are yourself and it's not about you, it's about them. Because no matter what you do, frog style nail, monkey style nail, dog style, whatever style, you can be the best. Why is it that you have prostitutes and sometimes they cannot keep a man? So,
Community dick.
community dick, thank you. Nakoa. Moyue. Nakoa meaning community dick. I just said it in Hausa. Thank you, Zainab. Oh, she's so. And Molu is like a boss in Lagos. I hope one day I'll try to get on it to know how it feels. It's like some crazy boss that people jump on. Anyway, you don't want to go on that. You're not for the community. So it's high time if somebody is not respecting themselves, you respect yourself by pulling yourself out of it. You have a conversation with them, they're not willing to fix it, get yourself out of there. Because whether you like it or not, it's going to mess with you mentally. I'm not one of those that will advise you to stay. So it's you, at the end of the day, it's about you. But statistics has it that once somebody is a cheater, you cannot satisfy them with anything. So that's that. I don't know if Zainab has anything to roll it off and we can end it here.
You said it all, Haja. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much for um, coming on tonight. I know you are the baddest AJF Kaduna coordinator, and we'll be coming back with more episodes for them to see. And for viewers, thank you so much for being here. Do not forget to click on that red subscription button. Subscription is free. Love you all and have a wonderful night. Thank you. Bye bye.
Been an honor. Yeah, yeah.